G'day ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm of course the Galeforce, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Path of Champions and Legends of Runeterra. We are going to be going over some important news and updates that I essentially received yesterday from a friend from Discord. So I thought this could be pretty important to share, and at the same time I just felt like it might be worth bringing forward to y'all. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what it is all about. But before we do all that, let's just quickly go over what was teased yesterday, which I'm probably sure a lot of you already know. So if you're in the main hub, in the main menu, and essentially you click on the book icon right here, you can potentially open up the tab which is the announcements tab, which will show you a special artwork covering the next expansion. It's going to be called Glory in Navori, and at the same time we're going to get 3 new champions here. This is going to be Samira. For those of you who are unfamiliar with League of Legends, I'm pretty sure all of you are, but assuming you aren't, this is Samira, this is Seth, and this is Jack the winner. If you guys play lore, you are familiar with this guy, but essentially we are going to get 3 new champions. I believe Jack is probably going to be the unique champion to POC. Now, from what I'm hearing online is that we might get a 4th champion. I'm not really sure what that 4th champion is, but, you know, this is news, this is, updates, so I figured I'd probably just let you guys know on it, and basically I just thought it would be worth, bringing to your attention. So it's going to be on the 29th of March, as you can see here, probably on the 30th if you are in a region like myself, Southeast Asia, where we're more or less a day ahead sometimes, so essentially it might be on one of those 2 days. So once again, the champions that we are most likely guaranteed to get is probably going to be Samira and Seth. It's probably going to be Jack as well. I'm 80% sure, well, maybe 85% sure on Jack. The 4th champion, I'm not even going to say it's confirmed, or I'm not even going to guess because I have no idea or no knowledge about it. But what I can tell you is that we are going to get these 2 for certain. So I'll be sharing the level up animations as well as the level up compilations here on the channel as well when I have them. So I expect those to be dropping in the coming days, so stay tuned. Alright, so that's what I just wanted to quickly touch about really quickly. So let's talk about the POC now. Alright, so regarding the POC, I have some pretty bad news. Well, probably I'm being dramatic here. Bad news in a sense like it might be bad for players who have not gotten this relic. For those of you who have, it might not be too important, but it could be good to know as well. So my friend Zin, by the way, thank you buddy for bringing this news to me. So essentially informed me that the Galeforce is actually not in the relic pools, and this was actually confirmed by a rioter on Reddit, which is actually kinda sad when you think about it. So the post goes as follows. I'm gonna show you the screenshots as I always do on the channel. I'm gonna show you a screenshot of the post. So essentially this guy here shared a post saying that they have a group of people testing 2,000 plus silver reliquaries so far, no Galeforce. So it's not RNG, it's just not in the relic pools. I have no idea it's a bug, and I would pay $1,000 if anyone can show a clip getting Galeforce in silver reliquary from now on before it's added to the pools. Now this is the reply from one of the rioters here. So essentially it was confirmed that no, it's not a bug. There will be ways to obtain relics like the Galeforce in future. Adding clarity in game for how to obtain relics is something we want to do, but haven't found time for yet. So another commenter here essentially asks to clarify what relics are not currently in the pool. And basically there's a list here, and most of it comprises of the campaign relics, which I have the TXT file regarding which champion campaigns unlocks which relics, and essentially the relics are as follows. I'm just gonna go through them with you. Luden's Tempest, Hymn of Valor, Golden Spatula, Galeforce, Scourge's Stash, Archangel Staff, Gravedigger's Spade, Loose Cannon's Payload, Crownguard Inheritance, Greenglade Shadeleaf, Tempest Blade, Stalker's Blade, Riptide Battery, and Grand General's Counterplan. Now for those of you who are familiar with the POC, you will know that a good bulk of these are from the champion campaigns. So essentially all these relics are unavailable from silver reliquaries, along with the Galeforce and the Golden Spatula, which are of course relics that are not obtained through champion campaigns. Now before we move on forward with what I want to say here, I have to get this out of the way really quickly. I apologize and I'm absolutely sorry, and the reason why I'm saying that is because I remember, and I remember this very clearly, a lot of you asked me regarding how to get the Galeforce. Now, I told you that it was possible in silver reliquaries, but the drop rate is really, really low. Now, for those of you who asked me that question and I told you it was available, I definitely gave you misinformation. However, before you unsubscribe or turn your back on me, give me a chance to at least explain why I did it. So basically, this post was shared 12 hours ago, which basically means yesterday, irrespective of wherever you live. Now, secondly, my claims that the Galeforce is in the reliquaries isn't a fabricated story. It is basically based on a comment left by a user here a couple months ago. Now, the screenshot should be on your screen, and for the sake of protecting his identity as well as privacy, I'm just gonna block out the name. So basically this commenter here told me that the Galeforce was actually available in the reliquaries, and essentially this was how he acquired a duplicate Galeforce. So essentially I saw this comment and I thought, well, that's pretty useful. At least there's a way to get the Galeforce. So at the very least I have an answer for you instead of just telling you that I don't know. So I'm pretty sure as you can already tell, this is all just a harmless little mistake. I'm just simply doing my job in trying to relay information to you guys to potentially help you guys out with your own personal accounts. However, this is the internet after all, so just in case, my apologies to anyone out there who might have felt misled by me sharing this information accidentally. Now, to be fair to the original comment, however, I'm not just gonna throw it under the bus. Maybe there is a way to actually get duplicate relics. I'm not really sure about that, but maybe he did get duplicate relics, but possibly this Riot here maybe might have overlooked some things, because you must remember there are a lot of things that Riot has overlooked that you cannot deny. The track history and the track record is there. Remember the Norris T bug that was essentially overlooked, the Nexus bug with the 6 slots or something summoning the buried Sunders instead of the ascended Sunders. Essentially there might have been a lot of things overlooked, so I'm just gonna give the benefit of the doubt to this comment as well. Maybe it might be in the reliquaries, but I am not really sure. I'm just bringing you information, like I said. Just want to pass this on so that those of you out there who are potentially watching this might be aware of these informations, and potentially you might be able to make your own decisions and make your own judgment. That's basically my goal here, just to relay information. Alright, and the next thing that I want to talk about as well is a post shared by Mr. Dan Felder here, which is essentially the Riot developer that was interviewed a couple days ago. I believe I shared segments of the interview where essentially I went over the highlights and points. You can check it out in the channel card up above, but essentially this was the same Rioter that shared information regarding the monthly adventures and the POC, and he finally addressed why some of us keep getting fragments for the same champions. Now I'm gonna go over this post with you guys really quickly, and then we can potentially talk about it a little bit. So essentially this is what Mr. Dan said. Some folks have posted for a while now about getting fragments for the same champions over and over again. Some people have even wondered if the system is weighted to produce fragments for champions you already have maxed out. I get why someone might wonder that, but that's not what's happening. The random fragments are fully random. However, there are a number of quests in the game that give out approximately 5 fragments for specific champions when completed. Some of these quests currently seem to be bugged for certain players to occasionally refresh, allowing players to complete them multiple times. Those players naturally get those champions maxed out pretty fast with these bonus fragments. This makes it easy to assume that RNG is broken in some way, because they get a lot of rewards featuring a small number of champions. This is because they are getting bonus fragments of those champions multiple times from the currently bugged quests. So basically, if I understand this statement correctly, is that the random fragments are purportedly fully random. So that means even if we get a lot of duplicates, I guess what they're trying to say is that we're unlucky. And in addition to that, in addendum, Mr. Dan also said that there are a number of quests in the game that give out 5 fragments, approximately 5 fragments for specific champions when completed. And some of these seems to be bugged because they can be completed an infinite amount of times. Now personally, I've never encountered this bug. I have never seen the quest that Mr. Dan here is referring to as well. If you guys have this bug, let me know. So with that in mind, I don't want to essentially be the contrarian again. Like I said, I have been giving a lot of contrarian opinions, but in the interview, if you caught the interview, I have the highlights or the main important parts of it on my channel here. It should be in the channel card either on the top left or on the top right. Mr. Dan did touch a little bit on this when he talked about duplicate protection. It should be timestamped in that video as well. So the short version is basically this. Duplicate protection is not in the plans right now because it seems to have trouble getting prioritized. That's his exact words. Now again, this is probably a really contrarian take. I've been repeating this many times, but I just want to make this clear. I'm not saying Riot is doing a bad job. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm trying to say, and this is not sponsored by Riot by the way, I'm just saying this just to be fair to everyone. What I'm saying here is that if a topic that I think in my opinion is really important to POC players like myself, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you out there who are struggling with duplicate fragments, you're probably a little bit unlucky. You never got, unique fragments for several weeks past, and essentially you are a F2P player like myself. It might be a little bit sad that you keep getting the same fragments over and over again, and at least to me, in my opinion, this is probably one of the more important things in POC. It's always nice to have new content, I do not deny, but with the introduction of the monthly adventures, which is obviously going to rely on us getting multiple champions, I feel like it gives them even more reason to essentially, implement a feature that allows us to get, more different champions. But unfortunately, this still has trouble getting priority for some reason, which I definitely do not understand. Again, like I said, I'm probably ignorant to the entire game development process, so maybe I'm just talking gibberish here. Basically, I just don't understand why this is so much trouble getting priority, at least the way I look at it. But either way, the positive thing that we can take away from here is, at the very least, we have some insight, or essentially some knowledge into the entire procedure here in the POC. So I think that's the only plus that we can take away from this at the very least, even though the information and news being passed on isn't exactly the greatest. But yeah, basically that's all I have for you today. So thank you guys so much for coming to my TED Talk. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this discussion. I will be bringing you more information like this one if I ever receive it. And at the same time, I will be sharing the new level up animations as well as updated version of the level up compilation with the new animations whenever they are out. And of course, we will also be doing more POC runs here. You guys seem to like the RNG concept that I tried yesterday, so we're gonna go ahead and look into doing more of that here on the channel. But either way, thank you guys so much for watching as well as joining me on this one. If you guys enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like as well as subscribing to the channel. I really do appreciate that support, but most importantly, it's so that you don't miss future episodes or uploads of Legends Runeterra or Path of Champions content just like this one. This is Galeforce signing off. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next one. Goodbye.